Come here. Come here. All right. We're starting up. How are we feeling today?
I feel great. I feel loose, excited, ready to put on the show for the fans out here.
Love that.
Yep.
All right.
Bringing it home to the peninsula and private.
I love that. Hey, you got a joke? Joke for the day.
You can't think of no joke?
I'm trying to think of something on the spot right here. A joke? I need a joke for today.
I don't got a joke.
No joke. Nobody's funny. How are we feeling today?
We're feeling dangerous, dude.
Feeling dangerous.
Feeling dangerous.
Okay.
Probably has a joke.
Noah, come here. You got a joke? You got a joke of the day? You got a joke of the day?
No.
All right, I got one. You got a joke of the day? I need something.
Not much of a comedy.
No? You look like you would be.
Jokes have gone out of style.
Really?
Bring it back. We need to
Jokes have gone out of style?
Yeah, we need to start buying more joke books, you know.
I like that.
Barnes & Noble has been...
Barnes & Noble. Is that the go-to seats?
Gotta be.
I like that. Got a little air swing. That's about it.
All right, what did the ocean say to the swimmer? Nothing. It just waved.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Jokes have never gone out of style on this show. We welcome you to another installment of 757 Sports Talk, and it's powered by Cova Sports TV, where you can like, you can share, you can subscribe, and you can laugh along with us. Alongside the laughable Coach Ed Young, I am the affable Matt Hatfield. See what I did there? Good morning, Sir Edward. How are you?
I'm good, but you are the quack of all quacks. If people laugh, it's because you're on the show. The jokes are just plain hideous, made no damn sense. It just waved. No. If you were going to make a joke about that one, it would be, what did the ocean say to the swimmer? Nothing. Just a lot of waves. Not it waved. I don't even know why I'm giving credit to these ridiculous jokes and stuff. People bear with me. We are actively trying to get it expunged from the show permanently. So just be patient. But it is good to be on Saturday. It's good to be on any time. As they say in the world of sports, a lot is happening.
You know, you're just mean-spirited. That's really all you are. You're just a mean-spirited
to be real honest, just wear what you're wearing all the time, and we'll get some chuckles and smiles and laughs from people. Because the D-backs get a big win against the Dodgers.
Right.
And you're celebrating the World Series all over again.
I mean, no, it's just a nice starter of a series. Got a good gem from Eduardo Rodriguez, who's been the ace of the staff. And it's always good to beat the evil West Coast Empire. Unfortunately, the Nats didn't have enough natitude to beat the evil East Coast Empire. But that's okay. Their bullpen is what it is. It's lousy. It gags all over itself like it does every year. So, you know.
Well, and the Yankees did open up their series with the Nats with a nice comfort behind banger by knocking down the nasty Nats.
They're not nasty. I think you Yankee fans are what's nasty.
Well, some of the Yankee fans are completely nasty because they're still on the bandwagon of fire Cashman, fire Boone, and then neither one of them are going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, you sure Brian Cashman shouldn't be going somewhere? Because what has the guy done lately, honestly? Let's be perfectly honest here.
He's entrenched in that position. I honestly believe Cashman will leave when Cashman decides to step down, resign, whatever, retire. I don't think the Yankees will fire him. Now, has he done a great job? I don't think so, but he ain't going nowhere.
That's my point.
It's just a different, just a different. Baseball's just so different. Back in the day, if you were hitting 120 and getting a lot of at-bats, or you went 0 for 34, either you're in the minors for a while or you're cut. That doesn't happen anymore. It just doesn't. So it's just different era, and it's hard for me to get used to it because I'm used to production, and if you don't, they move you out and move somebody else in until you get another chance. But that's not the way for a lot of teams. Amazing how many teams have 100 hitters or under 200 hitters in their lineups. It's amazing.
Yep. A lot to get to on this particular episode, which will take us to 11 o'clock today, maybe a few minutes after 11, because we have to be off before noon, given Cova Sports TV's responsibilities and mine with USA Field Hockey today. So people that want to watch some field hockey actually can do that coming up at noon from the Plex or Regional Training Center here on Cova Sports TV. But, Ed, we are winding down with Wimbledon, and we are winding down with the World Cup. By the way, we got right before the women's matchup is going to start with Karolina Muchova and Linda Noskova. See what I did there? I got that. Yeah. The matchup coming up with women, which, by the way, minus 152 for Muchova, plus 126 for Noskova. We're going to be joined by a special guest, one of the award-winning best sports writers in the country. Even he's outside the country. He's going to join us from the All England Club. I know you'll take a hiatus because you got to go walk the dog who's been barking since the morning. But I'll handle it with Christopher Clarey coming up in just a bit. We're down to the nitty-gritty here, the last bits and pieces of the tennis and the World Cup, which are going on simultaneously. USA did not get through to the quarterfinal round, to the semifinal round. Belgium, by the way, who did get through, had a tussle with Spain, my pick to win the World Cup. They're now in the Final Four. You got a toughie coming up with France on Tuesday. You got quarterfinal games today with Norway, England. England is the minus 210 favorite, and Argentina, Switzerland, or some call it Switzerland, minus 325 for Argentina, plus 250 for Switzerland. And then we'll see who from there sees the winner of France-Spain, which will be the World Cup, one of the World Cup participants in the final. What do you make of this as we're down to the last little bit? Are you at all captivated? Are you interested? Are you still yawning over there because you're just not into either sport and you're going to be the you get lost. Are you looking at you yawning? Yeah, it's so disrespectful. I'm sorry, folks.
No, I didn't sleep well last night. That's why I'm yawning.
That's it. You're going to get it. Give me a second. You're going to get it. Go ahead. Continue on.
I said it before. I respect World Cup, all sports. I'm not into the World Cup as many people are. I really lost a lot of interest when the U.S. lost, which kind of figured Belgium, even if they beat Belgium, that they would be done. They would be done after that win if they did. They're not beating those power teams that are left. But, and I think my pick was France to win it all. So we're going against each other in terms of our picks in the World Cup. So one of us goes on and one of us goes out. Mm-hmm. But no, I just haven't really been captivated by it much.
You just, you're just going to disrespect it like that. Typical you. Typical.
I'm too much old. I guess too much old.
You're sleeping is what happened. Matter of fact, we caught you. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Look at that, folks. That's Coach taking a nap there with his favorite sport. By the way, that's our buddy from Marymount. And Coach of Marymount sitting there looking couldn't believe I took the picture. I said, I don't give a crap. I'm taking the picture.
I remember that. That was after the infamous towel night.
Yeah.
I was up all night. I was worried about something may happen in that hotel. I didn't sleep very well because I didn't know if somebody would take our towels or we would get any towels or all that happened. So I dozed off for a little bit. And watching a very boring game. Though I do love my basketball, there are sometimes the games, quite frankly, just suck.
Wow. Listen to you. Well, you know what? We got to get hold on. We got to get a zoom in picture. That picture doesn't do its justice. Hold on, folks. We're going to zoom in. If people don't see. I mean, he is knocked out. He is zonked, ladies and germs. There we go. Here's a better picture. Zoomed in. Oh, there we go. Here's your man from Marymount looking at the camera saying, I can't believe he's doing this. He's taking his life into his hands. Yes, I did.
But see, the key here is, and I don't really think I was sleeping because I'm checking my notes.
You weren't sleeping.
How can somebody sleep and hold a notebook open if they're sleeping? So really what I was doing was meditating and
Oh,
said
you're
to
resting your
myself,
eyes.
who
Okay.
the hell is this kid on court for? I was kind of looking at it. So, but yeah, there are times I will take a quick nod in when I'm watching games from not when I'm playing, my team's playing, but though sometimes the way we play, I would want to fall asleep.
Ladies and germs, you will see a kid on the floor there in the picture. He was complaining to the staff at the St. James facility about Ed snoring. He was so loud. He was complaining. This guy next to me is snoring so loud. And, that's it. Now, next to Chris Rogers, the head coach at Marymount, is in that picture too, is his son, by the way. He's to
Those
the
are
right.
both his sons, yes.
Yes, I know. But my point is, the other one said, I'm getting away from Coach. He's snoring too loud. Yeah, that's what it was. So let me ask you this then. If you were not into the World Cup, or you were not into, and by the way, that was a great game yesterday. You were not riveted by Spain and Belgium. It was 1-1. Belgium had a couple of chances to almost get it to 2-2 after Spain took the lead. That was a great game. And then the U.S. game the other night, I can't fault you. That was a dud. That was a waste of time almost. That was a dud. But if you aren't into that, I mean, come on. People are really into it on the sports front. I don't know what you're into this time of year. You can't be into Summer League. Don't tell me you were into the TV with Peterson versus Devantes on what was that, Thursday night? Summer League. People get all jazzed up to me. We don't even remember all the ricochet. He was such a sensation in Summer League. People were killing Victor Wembanyama, and of course Wembanyama just gets the richest contract in Spurs history, 5-year extension that could exceed $250 million as it now scrolls across the ticker. Were you into Peterson Devantes the other night, or did you not pay attention to that?
Briefly. And
I watched 0 minutes of it.
I wasn't even excited about Powell writing a kisser from Bam Adebayo to Tyler Hero.
Oh, that was Powell writing a kisser, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy.
He went bam. He went bam on him.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's his nickname, Bam, so he bammed him. So, he said some things he shouldn't have said. But,
who the first school to offer Bam Adebayo was, right?
No, I don't.
It was actually Old Dominion.
Oh, first school?
First school. I'm pretty sure of that, yeah. Pretty sure.
Man, can you imagine?
He was in ninth grade. Oh, he wasn't going to Old Dominion. There was next to no chance. It'd have been phenomenal for Old Dominion, but it was next to no chance he was going to. That's like great. The people that had those when we used to have in radio in the studio, Elizabeth Williams and James Michael McAdoo, and they were literally calling our show to ask them why they weren't considering Old Dominion. But anyhow, and then people in the building were doing that, not even just fans. But yeah, I wasn't into that at all. Now, on the local front, real quick before we go to break, and we got a lot coming up on the show. As we mentioned, we got in just a couple of minutes. We got Christopher Clarey coming on the program. You'll hear from something I know Ed is into. He does cartwheels for this wrestling at the end of the show. Devantes, Chris Aquilla, will join us on the program to talk about VCW, which is 2 weeks from today. Next week, we'll be joined by Ed's arch rival, the infamous George Pontus, the former VCW commissioner. But we're also going to go through a list on Sports Illustrated of the top 5 athletes from Virginia that just recently came out. And you're going to hear from one of the star quarterbacks in the 757 in one, Domo Everette, whose older brother, Daylen Everette, we teased this last week. Not like tease, ha-ha, and boo-boo, but we mentioned it to come up this week on the show. Daylen Everette got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He out of Norfolk, went to Norview for a year, then went to IMG Academy. Domo, who was the state player of the year, is gearing up for his junior campaign after having a sizzling sophomore one for the Commodores as they three-peated as state champs. So we'll get Damo's take as his recruiting is taken off with a bunch of offers. But on the local front, the big story in the last 24, 48 hours would be what transpired with the coaching announcement of LaDasia James, new head coach at Princess Anne High School, replacing, well, never really replaced like they got rid of. He retired, Darnell Dozier, who won 793 games and 16 state titles in 31 seasons. That's an average of a state title within every 2 years, and he did it for a lot of consecutive years too. She played at First Colonial and also played at Norfolk State University. So LaDasia James, new coach at PA. Give me your impressions as PA has now hired its newest girls basketball coach. And it's someone with 757 roots who we're going to get on the show, I'm sure, at some point. If not next week or come wintertime, we'll get her on it, I'm sure, at some point. But what do you make of this?
First of all, congrats to Miss James. Some real tough sneakers to get into following Dozier. Anybody that would have to come behind him. Little surprised it took this long to announce. And maybe they knew it way earlier, but here it is, middle of July. But I'm only surprise is it's not somebody with prior head coaching experience, which I thought they would go into. I don't know. You probably know way better than I would. Is she coming right from the playing court into coaching?
Or she was an assistant coach, and I believe the head JV coach at First Colonial. We got a full story up there on VirginiaPreps.com.
Okay. Okay. So she got some.
Yeah, that part doesn't shock me as much, although I get what you're saying. I think the slightly more surprising part of it to me is that they didn't pick a PA person in the sense of they graduated from Princess Anne or they've been coaching at Princess Anne previously. But the James name, as she's kin to Isaiah James, I believe her aunt is LaToya, Isaiah's mom. So she's kin to the Jameses. So there's a little connection there to PA. And she did, like I mentioned, played at Norfolk State. And so I don't think this is at all a risky hire. I mean, a risky hire would have been hiring somebody from outside the realm, outside the area, outside the state that doesn't have any connection to the 757 or basketball in the area. But she does know the lay of the land, and I think she'll be fine as long as Micah Ojo laces up and puts the sneakers on and puts on the candy stripes, the Princess Anne uniform, because Micah Ojo is a once-in-a-generational type of talent who's revered as one of the top 10, 15 players in the country in her graduating class. So as long as she's got Micah Ojo, they're going to be all right.
Very true. Very true. Though rumors, and that's what they are, rumors.
Don't start rumors.
Yes. Otherwise.
What rumors? Name your sources. Name your sources.
A good reporter never names sources. Never.
I don't know about that.
No.
Michael K. You heard about Michael K. and Volpe this week. You heard about Screaming A and Jaylen Brown with sources and scourses. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. You can't divulge sources if you want to keep getting.
You're just making up stuff on the fly. That's what you do when you say sources. I got sources. You got sources.
Yeah, you got sources, all right. All in that damn pool. I know what you got. Your sources. but we wish the young lady well, and I think she's more than capable, and I hope people allow her to put her fingerprints on the program. It's give each coach their own shot, but I'm excited for her that she got it. And like you, I did think for a small possibility they could hire somebody because of Darnell's major shadow. They'd hire somebody outside of the state, a very successful head coach from somewhere else who has no ramifications about the job or, whatever. Sometimes that's another way to replace somebody. It's either that I'm looking at or go the other ends of the pendulum. Like you just said, you get somebody within the family, the PA family. She's close to it, but she's not a former player at PA or a former coach, but close enough to the situation. So wish her well, and I believe she will do well.
As we go to break, there's the burning question of the morning, which you'll be watching more of this weekend. Ed, unfortunately, cannot watch Joey Chestnut and the hot dog eating contest. I think he won his 18th mustard belt with 66 dogs that he was able to douse down last week on 4th of July. We know he's going to be watching his evil Bronx Bombers, but Wimbledon Finals or World Cup Soccer quarterfinals. Let us know what you think on Cova Sports TV. this morning. And coming up next, we're going to be joined by Christopher Clarey talking Wimbledon, all things tennis. This is a good conversation with Christopher you don't want to miss, as we have Mohova and Naskova coming up later this hour right here on 757 Sports Talk. And they're watching where, Edward?
They're watching right here on Kova Sports TV, where we hope you like us, you share us, and you subscribe to us.
Authentic Italian cuisine can be found in just one place in Hampton Roads, Il Giardino Ristorante in Virginia Beach. Il Giardino offers veal, seafood, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations. Add the sounds of the piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. Open daily at 5 p.m.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us, and the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550-7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
Hampton Roads has a long-running high school and college sports tradition. It's time to give them the spotlight they deserve. This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here is Matt Hatfield.
Welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk, powered by Kova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe, as we have a special guest with us here now on the program. He is a longtime sports writer, 30-plus years. He's covered 100-plus slams, 16 Olympics. He's also a New York Times bestselling author of the new books, The Warrior on Nadal and The Master on Federer. We are pleased to be joined by Christopher Clarey here on the program. Chris, first off, it's a privilege to have you on the program. How's life in the All England Club treating you this July?
Well, you can hear I'm actually there from that last announcement there, so I'm definitely right on the heart of it. I'm in the media room here, which is on the bottom floor and you walk right outside the door here, and you got a short walk across the concourse to center court. So it's a good place to be, and it's been an amazing tournament in terms of weather and storylines, and it kind of had to be, with the World Cup going on over here. People have been following that as well.
Yeah, I want to get to that because it's a different year with the World Cup happening simultaneously as Wimbledon. All the different events you've covered. I mentioned all the tennis events, the books you have, which I'll give you a chance to highlight at the end of our interview here, our conversation. And just in general, where does Wimbledon, what distinguishes it for you, and does it set itself apart from everything else you've covered over the years?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's one of my favorite events. I've had the good fortune, as you mentioned, of having covered a lot of global sports over the years. I've even snuck a few U.S. ones like Super Bowl and NBA and things like that in there as well over the years. But mostly my career has been global sports events like Olympics and World Cups and the tennis majors and a fair bit of golf. And I guess the closest thing to Wimbledon, and they actually make the comparison themselves, is the Masters in golf. It's got a lot in common with that. I mean, same color scheme. They've got kind of an amazing ability to keep it relevant in this era and yet updated at the same time. It's both kind of the most historic place in tennis, of course, because it's the first tournament really that was ever played of any significance in lawn tennis. And next year is the 150th anniversary of that. But it also is extremely updated now. They've got very high level facilities, and the players love it because they've got all the bells and whistles and amenities. And But what sets it apart, I think, is when you walk in, you feel that history, and also you feel the class of the place. People generally are well dressed here. It's an event. It's part of the English summer, not just the English sporting summer. It's really an anchor of British culture, particularly English culture, and you feel all that when you come here, and you see the members walking around in their blazers with the badges that show who the members are, and there's just a very special connected vibe here between the past and the present, and you feel that, and the players feel it too. And there's not as much advertising on the courts still. And the other thing I'd say, it matters at the surface. Tennis was, when it was brought into the modern world back in the 1870s, it was played on grass almost everywhere. But now it's a rare thing. It's anachronistic in a way. Hardly anybody plays on grass anymore. Certainly, probably you and I don't. So it's unusual in that way too. And that was a risky choice in some ways to preserve it. They're the last major that has grass as a surface, but I think it's been the key to its longevity and its appeal.
Yeah, great point here. Now, this particular Wimbledon, Chris, I know we don't have Carlos Alcaraz. It's been a passing of the torch in a sense from the Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic's to Carlos and Jannik Sinner, and this now, leaders, if you will. On the women's side, not as many big names yet. The Coco Gauff and Karolina Muchova semifinal, I was riveted by it. I couldn't take my eyes off it. But you also had the Djokovic and Felix match in the quarters. That was a great one. What's your overriding feel of this 2026 edition of Wimbledon, and how important is it that either the women's or men's final produces us a classic?
Yeah, I mean, Wimbledon has been even more chaotic in women's tennis than it's been as women's tennis has been in general. I mean, this final today between Muchova and Noskova, two Czechs. Muchova is a great player. For those of you who may not know her, tune in and watch her play. She's so complete and beautiful to watch, kind of a Federer, if you will, of women's tennis, but has never won a major. He's had a lot of injuries. Once in a while has cracked mentally. But whoever wins today will be the 10th different female champion here in the last 10 editions of Wimbledon, which is kind of crazy. Wow. On the men's side, it hasn't been that at all. A lot more stability. Obviously, Roger Federer won 8 times here. Novak Djokovic has won 7. He won't be winning this year after losing to Jannik Sinner yesterday. But as you said, the men's side, it's been kind of this seamless transition from Big Three, a little Big Four with Andy Murray in the background there, Big Three to the new two, they call it. But we're really missing the sport, and I think just everybody in general here at Wimbledon are missing Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz has the X factor. He has been the most successful player in this new generation in the majors, more than Jannik Sinner. And his game, as you know, is electric. He transcends tennis and goes into sort of performance art, just like Federer did. And he's really missed. He's got a potentially serious injury that could take him out for even longer now. He just pulled out of Canada. It's a wrist problem. Those are tough for tennis players. And for me, it's really pivotal that Carlos is able to come back and play at a high level again, because he is really the secret sauce for keeping tennis really interesting in this era. But him being gone has allowed Alexander Zverev to win the French Open, I think, and sort of get that monkey off his back. He's had a lot of off-court issues that have been documented. Not a lot of fans in his corner yet for that reason. Another injury, and then back it up Wimbledon to the fun, great tennis, and we'll play Jannik Sinner, in the final tomorrow, and has lifted his game. So that's great, but Alcaraz is the key.
Yeah, that's an amazing stat you just dropped there. The 10th in 10 years for women's Wimbledon champs. You hear so much about the NBA having 8 different champions in 8 years. That's something else there. How do you size up that matchup on the women's side? And I do want to get to a little bit later on here, Serena Williams and your thoughts on her. But Muchova, Noskova, the all-Czech women's final, it's one that probably was not on the bingo card for many going in.
Yes, given the history of Wimbledon lately, like we're talking about, I mean, yeah, it's surprising, absolutely. But is it a shock? No, it's not. I mean, Sabalenka, who's number one, just has had all kinds of problems having consistency in the majors, has been able to go deep, but has not been able to get across the line as often as somebody with her ability you think would be able to get across. Iga Swiatek, who won here last year and has won the French Open a bunch of times, was number one pretty clearly, has sort of fallen off in terms of confidence and quality of play. So it's been hard to get the kind of stability at the women's game that people like Serena provided over the years, or before that, Steffi Graf and Monica Seles and players of that nature. But, it's tomorrow's final or today's final. I think it's going to be a great match. I mean, like I said, Muchova's got this fantastic all-court game. She hits diving volleys. She can hit big power forehands. She can slice the ball with great crispness, tactician, beautiful mover. And Noskova's not that, but as a big hitter, big server, and has a very compact game. So it's a nice contrast in styles within the women's game there to see that played out. And of course, whenever players are both going for their first major, there's a different kind of pressure there. We've seen that again and again over the years with people trying to win that first big title and what it can take out of them. So I see it as a pretty close match. Some folks see Muhova as more a big favorite, but I got a feeling Noskova is going to handle it pretty well at 21, and it could be good. And it's an all Czech final as well. Huge Czech tradition in women's tennis with all the way back to Martina Navratilova and Jan Kodiš on the men's side.
Yeah, if it's anything like that semifinal match that Goff had with Muhova, people are in for a treat. We're chatting with the outstanding sports columnist, Christopher Clarey. You can follow him on the Twitter at Christoph, Christoph Clarey. You can also see his work through Substack. I'll tell you more about that at the end here as we chat with him about Wimbledon here on 757 Sports Talk, powered by Kova Sports TV. Chris, live on location at Wimbledon. All right, let's shift gears to the men's final here with Zverev and Sinner coming up on Sunday, Chris. My goodness, Zverev, I don't know that the common person, maybe certainly the diehard tennis fans, are following just how dominant Zverev's been. We know about Sinner since that first match in Wimbledon where he got threatened a little bit, 5-setter, how dominant he's been going back to even last year. But give me your take on this one coming up.
Yeah, I mean, Zverev has had a couple of shaky moments, but not many. He's played very solidly, and he's serving great. I mean, he has a massive serve. He's 6'6". He's really learned to maximize that. Great backhand. Guys that tall, I mean, there have been some winners close to that height over the years here. Goran Ivanisevic back in the day, people like that. But it's hard when you're tall to get down low. Grass requires you to really be low to the ground. The ball will skid. But the advantage is on your serve, obviously, where you can just pound it and create these amazing short points through that. And Zverev has got a new confidence to him. He's starting to hit through his forehand more since he won the French. Looks like here he's got a little bit of a looser way of being just around the press and around everybody now that he's a major champion. So I'm not ruling out, a big lift on his part, but history is not in his favor. I mean, he's done pretty well intermittently against Alcaraz and against Djokovic, but Sinner has owned him in the last couple of years. He's beaten him 9 times in a row, and he's won 14 straight sets. And given Sinner's level yesterday against Djokovic when he beat him 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, I don't think that's boding well for Zverev. But if Zverev can lift and be a little closer to the baseline as he's playing, if you play the game, it's important to take time away from people. If he can make Sinner feel a little bit of pressure in some of those baseline exchanges and he can serve like a god, which he could do, and he's done before in big matches. He's been up there despite his speed at 80-85% first serve percentage. If he can do that, he could make it a match. Is he going to win? I don't think so.
Yeah, I know Zverev earlier in this tournament snapped that long losing streak against Taylor Fritz. That's a different animal, as you just mentioned with Zverev. And it got me to think, I'll pose this question to you because you are a writer and you look for stories. We all look for that in this business. Bigger deal from a storyline perspective if Zverev wins and pulls off the upset, or Sinner goes back-to-back Wimbledon titles and starts to really cement himself on a run of dominance here. What's a bigger deal storyline for you?
Well, I think the better story is Zverev winning because we all like a surprise, right? I mean, I'm not cheering for any player here as a person. I'm just cheering for the storylines and what I'm interested in writing about. And for sure, that would be, that's definitely man bites dog, without a doubt. And it's not unthinkable. It really isn't. But I've just seen that matchup so many times, and I just think Sinner's deep in Zverev's head. And Sinner has not played his best, as we know. He lost to Djokovic in Australia and got shocked by the heat more than by Juan Manuel Cerundolo in the second round of the French Open. Was up 2 sets and 5-2 and basically just melted down in front of us. There was no puddle. There was no red puddle, but everything else was pretty clearly it was the heat. So, you can't rule out a little bit of it up and down, but he's just looked very good the last couple of rounds and just locked in. And he serves so well. His serve's not as big as Zverev's, but it's just the locations and you can't read it. And and he seems to serve his best when the point's the biggest, just generally has the last couple of years. So yeah, you got to like him on the surface having won already. But the better story is Zverev winning. And I don't think there's a clear better story on the women's side. Maybe Muhova because she's 29 and has had a lot of adversity with her body, and everybody who likes tennis likes watching her play. So I guess that's probably the better story, just because it's a bit of a redemption tale.
Yeah, I want to get your take on also a couple of these all-time greats here that are nearing the finish line. One who just made a return, and that's Serena Williams, age of 44. What do you make of this comeback in U.S. Open you see in her future coming up?
Tennis is just a nonstop comeback story, right? That's what it seems like. You always people coming back to the game and playing again, dating back to, Bjorn Borg giving it a try and failing, back in the 80s with a wooden racket when everybody else was playing with metal rackets. Serena came back. I personally, there's a lot of criticism of her level and the fact that she was beaten by Maya Joint a lowly ranked Australian who's hardly won a match this year. But I thought Serena played pretty darn well for somebody who hadn't played a singles match in 4 years, and she was not unrecognizable to me. I've watched Serena her whole career. That said, the movement's just not there anymore, and it's not going to come back, I don't think. Just don't see that. But can she be competitive and not embarrass herself? Yes. Is that going to be close to enough? I have my serious doubts that can be good enough for her for long. If she wanted to, she could play doubles and contend for majors. That's what Martina Navratilova did at about the same age when she came back in the early 2000s and had a lot of success and won a couple mixed doubles majors doing that. Won her last one at age 49. Is Serena able to do that? Sure she could, because you're only covering half the court. She's got the big weapons. But I don't get the sense from being around her a little bit that that's what she's looking for. And that said, I think she's going to try to play the U.S. Open and some of the U.S. hard court swing. Nothing's been announced yet. She got a little injury here in her knee. But I think she's going to try to keep playing and sort of see where this comeback and all the effort that went into it goes. Is that going to be a chance for her to win number 24? No chance in singles.
Yeah, she's so beloved, but it is pretty remarkable though what she's doing at her age. Now we look at the other big name who's a guy, Novak Djokovic, 39 years of age, on his quest for major title number 25. It just feels like a crazy question even to throw your way, because he's already beaten Sinner head to head in a different event. I know it wasn't Wimbledon, and he is getting to the semifinals of Wimbledon, but is it the end of the road for him in terms of making a real threat at winning another major? What's your feel on Novak here?
You know, I haven't felt that Novak would win that next 25th major or that 8th Wimbledon to tie Roger. I didn't think he had it in him for the last couple of years. I've been saying that. He got closer than I thought he'd get, to be honest. So, you know, you never want to count somebody of that level and that sort of personal drive and talent out. But I mean, there's no Alcaraz here. And he was not going to win the French Open. The French is just too tough on the clay, even though Alcaraz wasn't there. But Wimbledon, you know, if Novak had lifted to his full level, and we saw patches of it against Felix Auger-Aliassime in the quarterfinals when they played that great 5-setter, 5-hour, 15 match, which is both good news and bad news, right? Because good news is he won it, but the bad news is he shouldn't have to play that long and wipe himself out. So having had Alcaraz gone, having had these opportunities in the majors at the age that he's at without Alcaraz, and he doesn't do it, and he gets beaten handily like he did yesterday, just don't see it. Is that enough for him? Again, very personal question. I've kind of learned over the years, maybe you have too. I don't want to, not for me to say what these guys, great athletes, should do, the Bradys and the Lionel Messis. It's up to them to decide, when enough's enough. It's their craft. They spent their life building their skills. Do we have to like it or tune in? No. But if they want to go out and do it, it's their right and their ability in it. And Novak, I think, wants to come back again next year to Wimbledon at age 40. That's what he said yesterday. But there's a long time between now and then.
I think you're 100% right, Chris, because everybody's body and mentality is different. I mean, it's so difficult, almost impossible to kind of figure them out. But last one before I give you a chance to highlight your work for folks out there. I know this is also a tricky one. The state of each game, the men's game and the women's game for tennis, and I know people always look at it from the U.S. side of things, but which one's in better shape in your eyes?
That's a great question. With Alcaraz, and that's a question mark, I mean, I've seen him training a little bit, although he trained with a racket that was missing strings and it was kind of half the frame was gone. So we're not talking about a full-fledged, like, great news video to post yet.
Right.
But if Alcaraz is back, the men's game is, I think, in great shape, because you have that Sinner-Alcaraz rivalry and other guys like Serge Zverev and maybe Ben Shelton from the U.S. or Taylor Fritz or Joao Fonseca from Brazil or Jakub Menšik from the Czech Republic trying to circle around and lift to the level that Federer and Nadal put the game at back in the day when Djokovic got up there. So I think the men's game with Alcaraz is good. Without him, it's in not great shape. So much depends on him. And the women's side, it needs established rivalries. And we've seen more of that, honestly. I mean, Sabalenka and Rybakina have had some great matches. Sabalenka and Coco have had some great matches. Coco's a personality people really gravitate to. Is she as good a player as someone like Serena or Graf back in the day? No, and she's not probably going to be, but she's got a great personality and has won a couple majors, and people really, feel a connection to her and want to watch her play. So, I think it's with Alcaraz, men are here, women I'd say are here. Without Alcaraz, it's more like that, everybody drops down a little bit. So we'll see. It's always good to have, that star value and appointment viewing going on. And right now there's not as much with Alcaraz out of the game.
Yeah, very much indeed. This has been so wonderful chatting with you, Chris. Really appreciate you carving out some time for us. Before we let you run here, as we mentioned, you are a New York Times bestselling author. People can check out the books, The Warrior on Nadal, The Master on Federer. Really a big Federer fan. I am as well. How can people check out your work, get your books? What's the best way to do so?
I always tell people when they ask me, I love to support independent bookstores. I spend a lot of my time in them, and I've done a lot of events at those sorts of things, and I really enjoy giving those sorts of stores of support. So if you pay a couple dollars more and you get it there, I urge you to do that. Put my heart and soul into both those books. They were really the kind of the culmination of my whole career, 30 years of covering the sport and covering Federer and Nadal from the beginning. And of course, you can order them online as well, or directly through the publisher in the US, who is Hachette. And then I'm also writing on Substack. I started when I left the New York Times in 23. I started a site called Tennis and Beyond. It's not hard news or breaking news, but it's very analytical and a lot of in-depth pieces about the game today, matches that are being played, the history of the game. So if you're really into tennis and hopefully into kind of classic sports writing, hopefully it's a good place for you. And I love interacting with readers, in the comments section of that, subscribers who are part of that site. So I urge you to join me there.
So go check it out, Tennis and Beyond, and get those books on Federer and Nadal. Christopher Clarey live from Wimbledon with us here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Enjoy the matches, and safe travels to you as well, and I'm sure we'll chat down the road.
Thanks so much. I appreciate your interest in tennis and in my work. It means a lot.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
You got it. Christopher Clarey with us here on 757 Sports Talk. We'll take a timeout. We got more coming your way. Don't go anywhere. You're watching 757 Sports Talk, and it's right here on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and always subscribe.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better, and it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
Portco is your local nonprofit organization dedicated to economic empowerment through employment for people with disabilities. We focus on abilities, not limitations, providing on-the-job vocational support. Find your pathway to employment. Contact us or learn more at portco.org.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
At Rush Soccer, our love of the game and the community we create doesn't stop when we leave the pitch or when the season ends. We are more than an individual player, team, club, or league. We are a truly global community of athletes, parents, coaches, professionals, and fans. We believe that youth sports and the pathway to a lifelong love of soccer have the power to form deep, meaningful connections that will fundamentally shape our players and those in our community. We believe that what we feel is the key to what we can achieve. Feel the pride. Feel the confidence. Feel the legacy. Feel the connection. Feel the trust. Feel the acceptance. Feel the purpose. Feel the difference. Feel the rush.
At Atomic Wings, we prioritize real chicken with fresh, all-natural, never frozen ingredients, all packed with serious flavor. Order from over 15 awesome flavors at atomicwings.com.
What do you call a polar bear caught in the rain? A drizzly bear.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
We're unmuted now. No drizzly bear here. Just the coach, Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield. So welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe and interact with us. We say good morning to our pal Woodrow Wagner out there and all of you out there in internet land, wherever you're tuning in through Facebook, IG, Twitter, X, the YouTube stream, which we always encourage too. And keep your comments, your questions, your suggestions, your thoughts, all of that rolling this particular morning.
And let me say to Woody, you are one of the big reasons this knucklehead does his fool in the pool stuff, because you supposedly look forward to Woody. So
he's just the vice president. He's just the vice president of pool relations for us. That's all.
We might have to get a sanction against Woody too. I might work on that.
We love Woody. Hey, before we get to our Sports Illustrated top 5 athletes of Virginia all time, top 5 of all time, and the interview with Domo Everette of the Maury Commodores on the football side of things, and our conversation that'll be coming up in the 10 o'clock hour with Devantes for VCW. You're going to see Ed's mood change, by the way. When wrestling comes up, he becomes like a kid in a candy store. Everything else, he's just, oh, woe with me. Wrestling comes on, he goes bananas. He goes bananas, folks. Like we got to hose him off. You got to hose him off. That's right. See, Woody loved it. A grizzly bear. It's a great joke. We're going to make Ed shake his head some more because another sport he loves so much today. I know he's into ultimate fighting with Conor McGregor back in the ring for the first time. But here's the parallel we're going to make. You just heard from Christopher Clarey. How neat was it to talk with him, by the way, on Wimbledon, the day of, getting ready for Muhova and Nuskova in the women's final. He's sitting there in the press room with the thing going over top. But he made a couple of good points. I loved his point about this will be the 10th different women's champion in 10 years. That's amazing. More than the NBA's 8 and 8 years, all the different champions from the Raptors and Warriors and Cavs and Knicks and Nuggets and Bucks and Thunder. And I'm leaving somebody out. I forget. Oh, Celtics and those 8 for 8 years. I can't name the 10 women's. I have no shot, by the way, naming the 10 women in 10 years, nor can you, by the way. But he did talk about your gal, Serena Williams. I say your gal because Ed is one of 855,000 men in America with a crush on Serena Williams. And it brings me to Conor McGregor here, who, as I mentioned, if you don't follow UFC, you're not alone. I'm not a big follower, but he headlines UFC 329 against Max Holloway. It's going to be a 5-round welterweight bout at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Yeah, simultaneous with NBA Summer League, by the way. Ooh, like the World Cup and the tennis here. It's his return to the octagon after a 5-year hiatus. He had a broken leg against Dustin Poirier back in July of 2021. And I think it is a little unfair to compare McGregor's accomplishments in UFC to Serena's in tennis, which I'm sure Ed will concur with, although he is an acclaimed UFC fighter and he is beloved and he is popular. He's also hated too. But my question to you, as you see him on the screen with that iron fist and the belt and the watch, is he is a plus 215 dog, which I'm surprised it's that low. Max Holloway's minus 260. And he's the real deal. Serena, in her match when she lost to the 20-year-old Australian Maya Joint, who, as Chris Clarey pointed out, was really darn good. It was a good match. I think it's much more likely, even at her age of 44, that she gets back to the top of her sport than Conor McGregor gets back to the top of his sport. And, oh, by the way, if you're wondering about the age, which always comes into question, he's 37, she's 44. I imagine you concur, but I don't want to speak for you, so go ahead and speak.
I really lean towards McGregor getting close to the top of his sport than Serena.
Wow, I'm shocked at you. I know that's got to pain you beyond belief to say, right?
And I'll tell you what topped it for me when you said the 44-year-old Serena, the 37-year-old McGregor.
Didn't you hear Chris Clarey talk about Martina was 48, 49 when she was come on.
Playing doubles, covering half the court.
I know.
Okay. Father Time wins all the time. It never loses. Watching Serena in her match, I was excited because here I'm thinking we're seeing the vintage prime Serena, 30 years old and destroying everybody. That's not what she is. She had a knee problem during the match. Here it comes. Those old, you get out of bed as you get older. Ow, ooh, ow. What does that hurt? It happens even to the greatest of athletes, and she is among the greatest of athletes, all athletes of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would I like to see Serena? Yes, because I think a sport like tennis, like golf, and even UFC,
you
have to have that person that we love to see win, or we want to see get beat.
Mm-hmm.
But we are watching. That's when Tiger Woods came back in golf, viewership went crazy. There were people who thought, "Oh, good, Tiger Woods is going to win the next 15 titles,
right?"
And win any. He's not the same person. It's a name, but he's not the same person. Now he came back from something different than what Serena is. And McGregor, and I tell you what, when you said McGregor 5 years, I said to myself, "Wait a minute, he hasn't fought."
It doesn't seem like that, right? But you have these breaks,
a year or two, but
yeah,
wow, 5 years he's been out of that ring.
It's funny. We were talking about it with Chris, Tom Brady and some of these medical marvels. LeBron James, by the way, everybody's wanting to know what team is he going to join now? Is he going to join the Cavs, the Heat, the Warriors, the Sixers? It's on his last hurrah. He's another medical marvel like Brady, like a Martina, like these top of the sport athletes, and you do wonder about how their high school and college careers were. In the case of LeBron, he didn't have a college career. He went straight from high school to the NBA. Brady was not always the man at Michigan. Some of your individual sports like tennis and golf are different, or UFC. You don't have the acclaim and the attention of the team sport for college basketball or college football. But it is a fascinating thing. I'm just surprised. And again, I don't pay attention to UFC at all. I'm not going to pretend to, much like we talk about with the World Cup or the tennis. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on it. But I was surprised that in terms of those that are into the wagering part of it, that line was almost the money's been pouring in on McGregor, and the guy hasn't fought in 5 years. And it's not like he's facing some tomato can. He's facing Holloway, who's like one of the top guys. If he was facing some, scrub, for lack of a better phrase here, he'd be a little different in my eyes. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. By the way, we have a treat for folks coming up. We're going to be joined, I think, coming up in 15 minutes or so. We've been connecting back and forth with that new girls basketball coach at Princess Anne, LaDeja James, going to join us live on the program. How about that?
Wow, quick. We got her that quick.
Yep. Was tuning in, I see as well. We reached out, and I believe she's going to come. We believe so. We're not 100% positive. We'll know here in a few moments, I think. But we're going to also hear from Domo Everette and also Devantes in a bit, though. But I did say, before we go to break, could go to a quick break and splice in another poolside adventure. But we got plenty, folks. It's okay. I don't want to make Ed too cranky. He's already a little crotchety, a little angry. We do have a top 5 list from Sports Illustrated. They named the top 5 athletes in each state, and they named the top 5 in the state of Virginia. We wanted to save this for today's show. This is going to be a discussion, I'm sure, throughout the month of July and into August, September, maybe forever and ever. Here's the list: Arthur Ashe, Lawrence Taylor, Mia Hamm, Moses Malone, David Robinson. Now, a lot of folks don't immediately associate Mia Hamm and David Robinson with Virginia because you say, where did they go to school at? Well, David Robinson was at Osborne Park. He actually was at Green Run for, I think, his 8th grade, 9th grade year. You correct me on that if I'm wrong. Mia Hamm was Gatorade Player of the Year at Lake Braddock. You think of Moses in Petersburg. You think of Arthur Ashe, 804, Lawrence Taylor, 757, Lafayette. I don't have a real problem with this list except, and I think here's the qualifying part of it. Are these the top 5 athletes from Virginia that what they did in high school, college, or professionally? professionally, you really can't argue too much with Ash, LT, Ham, Moses, except, and David Robinson was great in the NBA. Great, one of my dad's all-time favorites. So I know this is going to make him upset. The one thing about David Robinson is I don't know that you put him ahead of Bruce Smith, the NFL's all-time sack leader. All-time. Now, if you're going off high school accomplishments, I don't recall what Robinson did at Osborne Park in Virginia in comparison to what Smith did at Booker T, which didn't win a playoff game when he was there in football. But if we're going off pro accomplishments, did Robinson have a better pro career in basketball than Smith did in football? And as anybody else, I'm sure Allen Iverson fans out there are saying, what about AI? I'm sure there are baseball fans that are going to be screaming at the highest heavens for David Wright. You go down the list of there's so many candidates. If we're talking about what they did in just high school alone, Ronald Curry from Hampton High, it's hard to leave him off this list, but he didn't have the college and pro careers that these others on this list did. So what do you make of this list? Top 5 athletes from Virginia. You like it? You lump it? Where you at with it?
I'm okay with it. Mia Hamm did surprise me. I'm not sure I'd have her 3. And I do believe in this situation, Sports Illustrated is basing it on professional career. I really believe it's their professional career. Okay. I like your idea of, well, wait a minute, Bruce Smith. I think you can almost put Bruce Smith argument over Mia Hamm. I don't want to get prejudiced with it in terms of
you're going to get the soccer fans angry
soccer
at you.
And the female fans. Yeah, I can see it. But even if you even want to go that further, a lot of people are going to say, wait a minute, Arthur Ashe, okay, trendsetter in tennis, but why not Taylor over Arthur Ashe? Let's put Ashe second.
No, I mean, you have buildings named after Arthur Ashe.
Well, that was going to be my point, that he has done so much that he's beyond legendary status.
Well, but real quick, here's your argument against Hamm. I think your argument for Hamm is it's a no-brainer. What she did, she's in the Washington, D.C. Hall of Fame, ESPY Awards, Athlete of the Year, about USA Soccer, North Carolina professionally. There's no argument there. She belongs. But your argument against it would be she was born in Selma, Alabama, and I mentioned D.C. Hall of Fame. People associate her more with D.C. than they do Virginia. Wasn't born in Virginia. And in David Robinson's case, oh, by the way, David Robinson, though he does have Virginia roots and Naval Academy and all that, he was born in Key West, Florida. So in order to be a top 5 athlete from Virginia, do you have to be born in Virginia? That's another one of those semantics type deal. You live there. I don't know. It's interesting. Again, what those 5 did professionally, hard to fight it off. Again, people are going to also scream high for Alonzo Mourning and Michael Vick. There's so many different names you could throw up there as candidates. And oh, by the way, if you want to go back way back in the day, Ace Parker, another one of those names you could throw up there. But there's just so many. I don't have a huge problem, but if I was doing the list, I'd probably swap out Robinson for Bruce. Sorry, Pops, but I probably would.
I would probably move Mia Hamm down to 6 and probably put Bruce Smith. I might go Moses up 1 and then Bruce right after.
And you would leave Robinson on and cut Mia Hamm off the list. Really?
I think I put Mia 6.
You're a bad guy.
I shouldn't do that because, like I said, it's the only female up there.
I know.
And,
all
and
ladies. That was Ed Young. Throw your hate.
Now, let me ask you this. When we say women's professional soccer, does Mia Hamm's name come up first in your head?
It's right up there. I mean,
I didn't say that. I said, is it number 1 in your head?
Who comes up there for you? It probably does. Yes. Who would you put ahead of her?
Because and we can look at the other 49 states. There might be a female soccer player in one of those lists.
See, I didn't compare the top 5 from other states. That would be we'd have to spend like a 2 or 3 hour show on that. We're just doing for a single segment. But it'd be a fascinating study.
But see, something gets me. I know we're missing people. A name that just popped in my head real quick and he kind of really captivated the nation. Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Oh, boxing, yes, no doubt about it.
I mean, he did. I mean, his name was up there among the greats. So there's another name that I'm sure there's so many other names, so many other ways you can rank them.
Sweet Pea, yeah. And
yeah.
that's you always forget somebody, but if you were to include boxing, it's hard to leave. It's hard to leave a champion, the late great champion like that, and Sweet Pea off the list. But again, none of these five, I think you would agree with, is just like terrible. Like, oh my gosh, how'd you have him or in Mia Hamm's case, her up on a list? I think the only one we didn't fight off at all about LT or Moses Malone. They seem like virtual locks. What they did high school and then professionally through the end, it was pretty hard. Even though LT has his checkered off the field issues, like some other guys we've referenced that have 7.57 or Virginia roots. He's not alone, but he's had some of his issues there. But he's regarded by many as the greatest defensive player of all time. And that's Bruce Smith's not far behind on that list. I mean, when you think of great defensive players, to me, LT, Ray Lewis, Dick Butkus, Ray Nitschke, Reggie White, Bruce Smith. Those are like the first 6-7 names that come out of my mouth. I mean, so if Bruce is in the top 10 of defenders of all time, probably belongs on this list. That's kind of where and Dave Robinson's a great center, but I probably go through more centers, including Moses, before I get to Robinson. I go through Russell, Chamberlain, Shaq, Hakeem. If you want to go modern, his Joker had a better career to date. It's close right now. He's probably going to end up with better for sure. Again, you're probably going to name about 9-10 centers before you get to David. David's probably, and again, no shame of that. David had a wonderful career. So there you have it. I feel like I'm when you do these lists, you feel like you're crapping or hating on somebody, which is not what we're trying to do here.
Right. That's the key too. It's not like I'll get them out of here. Dropping somebody down a couple spots is still in the top 10 of all time. That's pretty good way to be. And then my last word on this would be, as we said at the beginning, what is the reference to it? Born in Virginia, established their early career in Virginia. We'd have to get the idea of where that comes from, because like Mia, okay, born in Alabama. I don't remember her doing anything great in high school sports.
No. That's what I was getting to. See, it was forgotten. When she was in high school, she was the Gatorade Player of the Year at Lake Braddock. I'm sorry. No, she was helping win a state championship in 1989. I'm not sure she was the Gatorade Player. I know she was maybe state player of the year, because I'm not sure they did Gatorade back then or not. But she helped them win a state championship in 1989. And here's the other part people forget. In junior high school, she was a football player on the boys team. So she was a multi-sport athlete. She was talented. But you don't think of her unless you were from Nova. Like, again, a lot of people don't even know David Robinson has connections to Virginia, or even at one point the 7.57. It's one of those little hidden secrets back then. Was Bill Cochran his? I guess he would have been his coach. We might have to get Bill on the show. We'd love to get Bill on the show. That'd be an awesome guest to bring back some memories and talk about some of the old head-to-head locking horns of Ed and Bill Cochran on the hardwood. That'd be fun. But
I don't think Robinson played JV, definitely not varsity, JV basketball in the state of Virginia. I don't think. I think he was gone before that happened.
We'll have to reach out to Bill, or maybe he can get in touch with his son David, who now coaches at Norfolk Collegiate. Sad news before we go to break here to report. This is really tragic, Ed. South Africa midfielder Jaden Adams has died at the age of 25 after the team's run to the World Cup round of 32. Just came across the ticker on ESPN and on the app. He started in 2 of the 3 group games, came off the bench in the win over South Korea. I'm not sure what he died from, but that's just awful to hear that someone who was just competing in this World Cup has passed away at the age of 25. So condolences there. That's just, I mean, I'm sure more details are going to come out. This is just fresh, literally minutes ago, but just terrible to hear that.
Yeah, that's a young age like that. He just got a chance to play in the World Cup. Was it, accident, car accident, some kind of accident?
I don't know. I just know that the South African Football Players Union confirmed it this morning. It's not saying at the moment. I'm sure more details will trickle out about this, but just really, really terrible to hear of that. Coming up, we've got new Princess Anne Girls Hoops coach LaDeja James going to join the program. We're going to talk about her new situation at the helm of PA. We're excited about that. And again, we also have Devantes, Chris Aquilla for VCW Wrestling, and a conversation with Maury, star junior quarterback Domo Everette on the way too. It is 757 Sports Talk, and it's powered by Cova Sports TV, where you always want to do what, Ed?
Like, share, subscribe.
I didn't hear jump in the pool, but you can do that too. Back in a bit.
Did you know that the minimum limits in Virginia are $30,000? $30,000 is a lot of money on an individual basis, but if you're involved in a personal injury matter, that's not enough. Here at Williams Deloitte, we're happy to provide a consultation on the amount of coverage you have in your vehicle. It can be confusing. Not many people understand it. You know you need to have it, but do you have enough? Give us a call today at 757-547-5555 so we can help you prepare in the case of an automobile accident or any other personal injury matter that you or your family may find yourself in.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why there's CHKD Sports Medicine. Advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries, just for young athletes like yours.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger, fries, drink, and a sundae. No time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
As a banker at Town Bank, we believe that people bank with people, not with banks. You're looking for an actual personal relationship, and that's what you get at our bank. You get that person that gets to know you, gets to know your business, is there for you. I think that is what motivates us, what drives us. And the idea that we are trying to serve others and enrich lives, I think is very true.
What makes a life a good one? Is it our adventures? Or the friends we find along the way? Is it the challenges we conquer together? Maybe it's the people's lives we touch every single day. So, what makes a life a good one? You'll have to figure that one out for yourself.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Why did the pony ask for a glass of water? Because it was a little horse.
And now back to Matthew Hatfield and that evil basketball coach. Blast you, Ed Young!
And welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. Like, share, and subscribe to Cova Sports TV with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield, and I think now at this time we are joined by a special guest. She is the new girls basketball coach at Princess Anne High School in Virginia Beach. Once upon a time, starred in the Beach District at First Colonial High School and then in college at Norfolk State. We say hello and congratulations to LaDasia James. And LaDasia, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate you tuning in. And welcome to coaching now as a head coach in the 757 at one of the legendary programs, something I'm sure you probably dreamed of, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me about how this all came about. Now, you've been coaching at First Colonial, correct?
Correct.
Darnell Dozier retires. You had some battles with him when you were on the hardwood. You know how great he is. 16 state titles, 31 years. Take me through the interest and how it all went. And when you got offered the job, what went through your mind?
So it started because my season, my college season ended early. due to COVID in 2020. So then I got into coaching. I went back to First Colonial where, I graduated from, started coaching there, was the head JV coach for 5 years. I always knew, that I wanted to still be around basketball. So when I found out that Coach Dozier was retiring after being a JV coach for 5 years, I feel like I stayed in my ground, held it down, and then I just, once that opportunity came open, I felt like it was the perfect time for me to apply for that job.
And more than 1,500 points in your high school career. You go on to earn some MEAC honors at Norfolk State. Well-accomplished player that many in the 757 know, and are excited about your opportunity here. But I want to take you through the part of when you first knew you wanted to get into coaching. Who were some of the mentors, some of the old heads, if you will? My partner's an old head, longtime coach in the area, so I'm sure it's going to make him smile. Take me through some of those that have helped instill the coaching elements in you right now.
I can definitely say Coach Dozier was one of the people who have helped me, just watching his legendary success over the past couple of years. Like he influenced me a lot. Then my head coach over at Norfolk State, who's now Auburn's head coach, Larry Vickers, he influenced me a lot of coaching, just watching how his passion and how he loves the game. And then also First Colonial's head coach, Lamort Smith. He played a big part in me, in helping me get to where I am now today, too.
Chatting with LaDasia James, the new head girls basketball coach at Princess Anne High in Virginia Beach, here on 757 Sports Talk on Cobus Sports TV. You got a question or a shout out to LaDasia, you can hit the chat line through YouTube, IG, Facebook, all those different platforms here on Cobus Sports TV. Ed.
LaDasia.
Hello.
Oh, God. First of all, congrats. And I'm a little flustered at you because now you just made me even older. You just got off the courts playing, and now you're talking about graduated out of college and played, 5 years coaching already. And I'm thinking to myself, I just saw this kid play. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, my next reaction would be, what in the world were you thinking of trying to come in under after the legendary, the almost the game like the PlayStation game like record of Darnell Dozier, a title basically every other year, and the year he didn't win it, he was maybe in the Final Four losing it, or he lost the championship game. Just unbelievable. A lot of coaches in our business, and I'll say it, would be like, I'm not going there. I'm not touching that. Now, I admire you because you threw your name in the ring. You did the right things. You probably killed that interview to get it. You were grilled, I bet you, hard. And now you got it. Now, in that little sense there, I know you said, well, I've been coaching 5 years. I think I'm ready. I put my name in. They selected me. But in thinking of the process right before you put your name into it, what kind of things went through your head? Did you talk to Darnell at that point? I'm thinking you talked to some of your close mentors about, hey, what do you all think? I'm thinking about doing this. How did that process go?
Yes, so Coach Dozier, me and him have a great bond, like I've mentioned before. So throughout this whole process, he's been in my ear, just trying to help me, with like the interview and which way I should go about, going through the whole process. Of course, I had my self-doubts because like everyone is saying, everyone knows that this is a huge opportunity. But I felt like, if not me, then who? Like I've been around the 757. I've played the game at all levels. So I felt like I was ready. And then having his support and him push me, I feel like that just made this process 10 times easier.
Well, that part, and like I would tell somebody of your age coming in there, and you made a good point. Somebody has to replace. If not you, who?
Somebody
got to replace him. So why not you? And if you've got to have a confidence in your own abilities.
Yep.
So that's not the issue. Now there are some people who thought it would be a PE person, PA person, because sometimes when you get programs like this, especially at college level, North Carolina, we need a North Carolina guy. Michigan, we need a Michigan guy. But a lot of times those programs have stepped outside of that for that particular reason. We just want to get a different
view,
what PA did. The third big thing I would have to ask you is, how do you go about putting your fingerprints now on this program? And I know it's a good thing here. I want people to understand and hear this. You are good friends with Coach Dozier. You have communication with Coach Dozier. He's helped you in your career. I'm sure you gave him a few ideas along the way. So it's not like you're coming in there and saying, okay, old man, get out of the way. Here I am. It's my turn, my show. Here we go.
Right.
How do you put your fingerprints on this program?
I think Coach Dozier has made it very easy for me because he's told me, for one, that I can't be him, which is hard to do. So I just think just coming in, just being myself, not completely taking away what he's built, but trying to, navigate my way through the system my way and learning, how they have won so many championships. I feel like that's also is going to help me a lot. But just having him in my corner I feel like it's gonna work out exactly how it's supposed to.
And one of the first things that I was asked when we, along with several other media outlets, shared the news of you being announced as the head coach by Principal Ryan Schubert there was, James, that last name, is she related to Isaiah James from the WNBA who played at PA? Fill the audience in, because that James name has a lot of power in 757, right?
That James name rings a bell around here. Yes, absolutely. Isaiah James is my first cousin. We have a really, really great bond. She's doing big things, and I'm super proud of her. Super, super proud of her.
Yeah, it was thrilling to cover her, watch her. I know it gives Ed and me both goosebumps. Ed, because her late brother hit the game-winning shot to keep him from going to the States, and, of course, how she played after his death in the States was one of the most legendary high school performances of all time. But how important is it to you, Ladesha, to keep that PA culture but legacy? Some of those greats and this is going to lead me into my question about, the elephant in the room. Everybody's asking Micah Ojo, oh my goodness. But Elizabeth Williams and Isaiah James, all these different players played Division I. You've gone up against some of them. How important is it to have some of them come back and the current players and future players see what they've been able to do and keep that legacy going?
I think it is very, very important to have alumni come back. Not even just the ones who went to the WNBA, just, ones that went to college, D1, D2, just to come back and give some input to the young ladies coming up. I feel like that's very important. I have some things in the work I haven't really talked to Isaiah about yet, but I threw her name out there. So I'm working on some things to get her here, to get her, back into the PA community, to help some of the young girls so they can know that they can do exactly what Zaya did coming out of PA. It's that easy. So I think it's going to be fun.
All right, some cool, neat things in the works. I know Ed can speak this from all his different stops in the coaching circle, from his days at Suffolk High and Norview, Green Run, Nansemond River, now at Smithfield. The number of former players, Ed, we'll go to summer events all the time. You can chime in on this, that come back to you and bop you on the head or say, Coach, whatever. It's amazing, because that stuff matters as people will continue on the legacy. Ed, you know this from both boys and girls basketball. That stuff really means a big deal to the fans, the current players, the future players, and the alumni.
Yes, I agree. And even though I haven't been a head coach for a varsity team, being the head coach for the JV team, I still have some of the girls that, moved up eventually still come back and reach out to me and, want to still talk to me. And I love creating those bonds with the girls. I feel like it's bigger than basketball. And that's something that I'm looking forward to doing at PA, just letting those girls know that I have your back. You have my support 100%, but know that it's bigger than basketball.
Bigger than hoops at Princess Anne High School. Ladesha James, the new girls basketball coach there, now succeeding Darnell Dozier, the living legend who retired after 31 years. Our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Ladesha, a former all-beach performer and standout at Norfolk State following her days at First Colonial. Coach?
Now, Ladesha, in putting a staff together, are you at liberty to say if you've hired anybody yet, or is that still ongoing process?
So I haven't hired anyone yet. It is still an ongoing process. I have reached out to a couple of people, but I'm trying to take my time with this, because I want this staff to come in and, have that energy to give the PA girls exactly like what they need, so that we can prepare them for the next level, and not just the next level as in sports, but just going out into the real world. So I'm trying to take my time, with picking my staff right now.
Good deal. Now, and one of the questions that was posed to me right after I mentioned the one about Isaiah Jeff, I got to ask, it's the elephant in the room, is Micah Ojo going to be back? And I'm like, where's she going? So you address this if you can. It's different, I know, than college and pros, high school athlete who's certainly getting as much attention as she is. Just speak to, have you had any dialogue conversations since the announcement, and what's the relationship like at this point? Can you take us into that a little bit?
So me and Micah actually haven't talked yet. If you all don't know, I'm pretty sure you do because she's so big. She is out playing with the USA team right now, so I'm kind of trying to wait until, that settles down before I reach out to her.
Sure. Okay, makes sense. And I know you probably excited about the opportunity, right, to coach what was one of the best players in the entire country. Have you watched much of her game? I'm sure you have previously, and does she remind you of anybody? Is she's as good as any high school player? I mean, you remember Elizabeth Williams. I think the funny thing, I brought it up on the show before, I remember, and former First Colonial Boys coach Mark Butts pulled me aside when she was a freshman, and he said to me, Matt, she might be as good. I'm like, no way. I watched her 3 trips on the floor, and I'm like, and Ed's going to test this. We call her state championship games on the NFHS network. I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't know if she's better, but she does things differently than Elizabeth Williams, which speaks to the volumes. What do you think of her game?
Oh, I think her game is so smooth. Like, she's a silent assassin. That's what I like to call her. Like, she's quiet with her game, but she's going to do exactly what you need her to do when you need her to do it. So I'm excited. I'm super excited to coach her this year.
Awesome. Ed, final words with LaDeja?
Well, LaDeja, I had asked you about, about putting your fingerprints on the program and all that too. Mm-hmm. Under you now, what are some definites in terms of, I want to say, philosophy, concept? What are maybe a couple things that this is what you're going to be known for, what you're trying to establish yourself as known for girls playing for you?
I want to be known for building young athletes up. I want to be known for everything that I was taught. I want to put back into these young ladies. So just trying to, for one, continue the legacy that Coach Doja has built, but not only continue his legacy, I want to start my own. So, I don't want to do every single thing the way Coach Doja did, because, again, I want to leave my mark to say, okay, she came in literally right after the legendary Coach Doja, and she did things her way, and she still left a mark on Princess Anne High School.
Really cool. LaDeja James is the new head girls basketball coach at Princess Anne High School. There she was, rocking the green and gold at Norfolk State, taking someone off the dribble against Morgan State for a hoop, I'm sure. Now getting the opportunity to coach some potential next-level athletes at Princess Anne as they try to continue their dynasty of championships there in Virginia Beach. We thank you so much for coming on the program. All the best to you moving forward, and we look forward to following and chronicling your teams here.
Thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
And now, LaDeja, as a member of the BCAP, Basketball Coach Association of Virginia,
here's his pitch.
We got to get you to join. Come September, it's our new membership. We got almost 1,000 coaches, men and women across the state. So you're going to be hearing from me. Putting on Matt. Matt is on our advisory board. Get her email. Give me her phone number. I'm going to be on you, and you better join, girl, or I'm going to be outside with a sign protesting the first game. I'm telling you, I do things different. I'm just telling you.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Coach. We wish you the best, girl, and welcome to the head coaching profession.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited.
We're happy for you too. LaDeja James, new head girls basketball coach at Princess Anne High in Virginia Beach. Stick around, more 757 Sports Talk is on the way. They're watching where, Edward?
Right here on Cova Sports TV.
Now this from those who help make it possible. Stay tuned.
For any athlete, making it to the top sometimes comes with a few steps back. That's why parents count on CHKD Sports Medicine, advanced diagnostics, treatment, and rehabilitation for sports injuries just for young athletes like yours. With convenient locations across Hampton Roads and a whole team of experts here to keep your favorite player at the top of their game. CHKD Sports Medicine. Learn more at chkd.org or call the CHKD Sports Injury Hotline.
Cova Painting. We don't just paint, we transform spaces. Visit covapainting.com or call 757-550 7357 and mention the Sportsplex for 10% off of projects over $1,000.
What's up at DQ? Oh, just the best deal ever! The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Bacon cheeseburger for a limited time, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. Yeah, this is not the time to be modest. It's all full size for just $7. And there's bacon on that burger. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now, for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
What does happiness mean to you?
Being in the ocean with you, watching you catch super fun waves.
In Virginia Beach, happiness is breaking barriers and savoring the sunshine.
I couldn't pick a better place or a better person to be with. This is what makes me happy.
Happiness is going all out.
And taking it all in.
Here, happiness is whatever you make it. Find yours in Virginia Beach.
I grew up here. I know this town. I know the people here. More important, they know me. As a banker at Town Bank, we become part of the communities we serve. The people who bank with us, our members, know us. When you bank with Town Bank, you'll know your banker. You'll know you can reach us, and you'll know we're here for you.
All right, here with Maury, class of 2028 quarterback Domo Everette. He is the reigning Class 5 state player of the year as the Commodores get ready for a four-peat and just got an offer today from South Carolina, right, Domo? How you feel to get another offer from the SEC Gamecocks? I know older brother, which we'll talk about, he's a Bulldog, so he's going to say we got to get that UGA offer. We'll talk about the South Carolina offer, but it's got to be pretty cool to get more schools paying attention to your work, right?
Yes, sir. It feels great. It's an SEC offer. I feel like that's the biggest stage of college football.
For sure. And you watched older brother do that third-round pick by the Steelers this past year, played at Georgia. What's it like to see him live his dreams? I know it was an exciting moment for you and your family, right?
It's great because he gets to pass down. I mean, it's great for him. He's living out his dream, but he gets to pass down any knowledge he learns from the biggest level of football. So he gets to pass that down to me. So it's great for me and him.
Sure. Well, I know that's a dream of yours too, to play at the highest level one day. To win the state championship as a sophomore, to get thrust into that as the quarterback. What was that feeling like to do what you guys did and accomplish it? Because three-peat with the schedule you played, not too easy, right?
Yeah, it wasn't too easy, but I mean, it felt great. But I know that's what was expected of me, so it was high expectations for me coming in.
Over 50 points per game, you threw for 3,500 yards, 46 touchdowns, you ran for 530 more and 11 TDs. What did you learn playing behind Torrey Newkirk and went down to the ACC in North Carolina? Because you looked like you soaked up a lot of, sort of like a sponge, and you were prepared for that moment when you got in for game one.
Yeah, he just told me to make sure you know the playbook like the back of your hand, and I learned about like points per game thing. We got great guys all around.
Sure.
From center, tackle, receiver, running back.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And then it had those first three tough games out of the gate with Cardinal Gibbons and Verona, the triple overtime classic here against Bishop McNamara. How much did that kind of ease some of the pressure for the rest of the season? Because you felt like once we got through these three games, it's kind of a breeze in that sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, once we got past the bye week, everything was just about us. Like, we just had to get better. We had to get better because those first three games weren't too clean. I feel like we should have dominated those first three games. So,
sure.
Yeah.
You've got size, you've got arm talent, but what do you think are the things that schools like about you as a quarterback for the next level? I know you've still got a couple more years of high school left, but what are the things you feel like you can bring to a program at the next level?
The amount of experience I got from a young age, like me starting as a sophomore, and me just knowing and loving the game. That's what I think.
Sure, from a young age, I know your family, the Everette family, is known for its football lineage. Now, I'm sure there's quarterbacks you study, though, when you watch college football in the pros. Who are the QBs that you enjoy watching, try to model your game after?
College football, I like watching Dante Moore.
Okay.
From Oregon, and then NFL. I like watching Drake May.
Okay, you a Steelers fan now because bro's there? You have to be.
Yeah, I was a Philly fan.
You were a Philly fan, but now you've changed over to Pittsburgh. That's good for Pennsylvania fans to hear. They're Pittsburgh fans, not the Eagles fans. But two more for you, Domo. You got a bunch of schools that are going to be in the picture in the days to come. Do you have a couple of dream offers? I know Georgia's going to be in the family blood, but are there other schools that you're hoping to hear from or maybe visit, check out in the next couple of years?
No, I don't really have no dream schools.
Okay.
I mean, if you want me, come get me. I'm here.
Sure. And what do you think will separate you from other quarterbacks out there? Is it just going to be the willingness to get better and those type of things?
Yes, sir. My work ethic and my love for the game, and just me wanting to be out here and wanting to get better every day.
Sure. And lastly, now Maury's got sort of a reputation as one of the best players around. Didn't always have that, but here with what Coach McCain has built, as you guys go for a four-peat, what's it been like? The spotlight, but I'm sure you guys are enjoying the moment too.
Yeah, it's all thanks to Coach. You know, he came here, turned this program around very fast, and he's developing players, putting players at the next level, and I'm hoping to be one of those great players that go to the league.
Awesome. And lastly, I mentioned you got state player of the year. You also got our Chicho's player of the week for one of the games last year. But to get state player of the year as a sophomore, what did that honor, as well as Ty Water player? You didn't get that. I know it's an honor you want to get this year, right?
Yes,
but there's some things. It's not about you individually; it's about the team. But to get that, it had to be an appreciation for your hard work.
Yeah, it is a little bit of appreciation. I mean, I'm not too heavy on accomplishment like self-made accomplishments. I like more team, like championships and things like that. But, I mean, I definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely, he's a team first guy for the Maury Commodores. Domo Everette, watch out for him this year and beyond. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Joke time. What did the triangle say to the circle? You're pointless.
And we're back here on 757 Sports Talk. Domo Everette, you heard from moments ago of the Maury Commodores Ed, state champions 3 years running. Their schedule now scrolling across our ticker as they've got Mallard Creek on August 28th, which, believe it or not, Ed, is only what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks away. It's going to be here before you know it. High school football is coming fast and furious. They replaced Cardinal Gibbons, the one blemish on the slate. Then they host Verina, go to McNamara. Remember, that was a triple overtime game last year, won by kicker Charlie McCoy, who this Hatfield had to interview. And by the way, congrats to Charlie on his commitment to VMI. And then it's the Eastern District from there. So they had those 3 tough games out of the gate. And you heard he was one of our Chicho's Pizza Player of the Week recipients last season, one Domo Everette. And his teammate, who also got a Chicho's Pizza Player of the Week, Tayshawn Branch, ironically enough, Ed, is announcing his commitment today on Granby Street at Chicho's, which we can say because they're one of the sponsors of Cova Sports TV in this program. And we do give out our Chicho's Player of the Week during the season. He's going to make his choice today. So we'll find out where Tayshawn Branch is going. He's got a slew of schools recruiting him, from Temple to Buffalo to name them all in between. Go ahead. You got a prediction again?
I was going to say any Virginia schools.
I believe Liberty's looking at him. I'm sure Old Dominion's looking at him. I'm sure Jamie. I'm sure a lot of them are. I don't know that the in-state ACCs, though, Tech or UVA, are in the picture. But we'll find out later today. I think it's a 4 o'clock decision over there at Chicho's. Everett's backfield mate of the Maury Commodores. So far, Maury in this current crop. We're going to be building those graphics for folks to know where these rising seniors headed to college, because there's already about 100 of them in the state. Yes, I said 100 that are committed, but we heard earlier in the summertime, Maury defensive back Matt Williams, who's going to be one of his go-to targets, Domo Everett's. He's going to Vanderbilt. You heard from him this summer. And offensive lineman Julius Ferris is already committed to Sacred Heart. So this will be the third Commodore to commit in Branch's case. Everett's just going to be a junior coming off his sophomore campaign, state player of the year, and, of course, older brother with the Steelers, which is ironic because he mentioned his favorite team being the Eagles growing up. So Domo's got a bright future ahead for him, for Coach Terry McCain and company there in Norfolk. So that Maury slate, though, is fascinating. How about Verina, by the way, is going to play back-to-back weeks in the 7-5-7, September 4th against Maury, and then the next week, September 11th, at Oscar Smith. The Class 4 champs play the Class 5 champs in the 7-5-7, then the Class 6 champs in the 7-5-7. And if they beat both of them, then 7-5-7 might explode. It might go poof. Are you shaking your head like it's going to happen, or no, it won't happen? What are you saying?
I give it to Verina for going out and scheduling as hard as you can make a schedule, and coming here for both, not at home, stepping out and playing those powers back to back because they'll be bruising games. Verona, I got to give it to you because that's not usually how it's done, but they're on a mission. And to me, it's a little early. I'd like to think both Maury and Oscar Smith will prevail, but I want to get a little bit more into football before those games happen, before I can really put a finger on it. But I would say
better get into it because it's coming, whether you ready or not, Sir Edward. It's coming.
Here it is. 7 weeks away.
Yeah, I mean, listen, scrimmages start in literally
5
so
weeks.
The first scrimmage I have listed, we'll go through schedules next week. It's like Friday, August 7th. So we're talking 3 weeks from this Friday's your first scrimmages. So you better get ready. It's here. It's pretty much here.
And where does the summer go? Summer's they got to make a referendum. Why can't Orange Head make another directive? Summer should be 6 months.
Orange Head.
Of course, he's up to his tail feathers in issues with Iran and some other things. So
we're not here to do politics. We're here to do sports. By the way, we try to keep you engaged this summer with all the different poolside adventures, which we know you love. And when we come back, the only thing that Ed loves more than poolside adventures is ding, 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 wrestling. Do I have here we go. I got a big punch. Boom, boom, boom. Devantes will join us next from VCW. That's on the way here. And then we'll close out this edition of 757 Sports Talk.
And I'm telling the people, watch his hairstyle, watch his beard style. I don't think I can do a beard, but I'm thinking about a hairstyle like Devantes. You'll see it coming up.
You'll see. There's those punches. Boom.
That is me giving it to Hatfield when I get the chance because of these stupid fool in the pool. Ridiculous jokes.
But before we bid adieu, you're also going to see somebody who's on the lookout for Coach Young. It's all on the way here on 757 Sports Talk. After this quick timeout, back in just a bit.
What is more? Is it more reps, more strength, more stamina? We say it's all of that, but it's greater than just what's in the mirror. It's about improving your mental and physical health. More is a feeling of achievement, fulfillment, confidence. It's looking better, feeling better, being better. And it's our mission to get you there. Because here, you are more. One Life Fitness.
It's 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and the one and only Coach Ed Young, every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Cova Sports TV. From high school football and basketball to the NFL, MLB, college sports, and the NBA, if it's making headlines, they are breaking it down. Bold takes, big-time guests, and a few laughs, especially at the expense of that basketball coach Ed Young. Catch it on Cox TV and your view, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube at Cova Sports TV.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe with the Coach Ed Young. I am Matthew Hatfield, and Ed, we have a special guest with us, part of Virginia Championship Wrestling, the Liberty Lottery, coming to, yes, the 757 area code in Hampton Roads, Portsmouth Pavillion, coming up on July 25th. Get your tickets through Ticketmaster. You see the scan QR code right there. As our guest, Devantes, will be the challenger for the Virginia Heavyweight Championship against Rex Lawless, coming up with VCW. We are delighted to be joined by Devantes, Chris Aquilla, his real name. Chris, thanks for stopping by. How's life treating you?
No problem, man. Thank you for having me. Everything's good, man. I'm getting ready for a couple of weeks, man, to get my title back.
Yep, it's the 19th annual Liberty Lottery, as we mentioned, biggest independent pro wrestling event in Virginia. And let's start off introducing you to the audience. How did you get involved in the sport of wrestling? When did the love for it first start, and what led you to VCW?
I'm just like any typical fan. You know, I grew up watching wrestling. Believe it or not, I never had any dreams to become a wrestler. I kind of just fell into it. It was a flyer on my car one day. It was like a free workshop to come and to wrestle, and I just got bit by the bug when I got in there.
So you got bit by the bug. So I'm doing a little bit of digging on your bio. I don't know a ton, so you're going to fill us in on some of the gaps here, but understand that you're from Philadelphia, right?
Yep, Philadelphia, PA.
And you have a neat nickname. It is the Hoss of Hosses. Tell us how you got that nickname and how you became Devantes.
It was two things. My grandfather used to call me and my brother Hoss because we were like bigger or husky or whatever. And then Triple H had like the King of Kings in the 2000s. So I kind of just played on that and created the Hoss of Hosses.
All right, good deal. And how about Philadelphia? I mean, we hear about the city of brotherly love and all the different sports fanatics there are there. And you can tell us about other sports that you kind of grew up loving or watching or don't love or watch too much of. But with wrestling, is it a big deal in your hometown?
Is wrestling a big deal in our hometown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you still got the closet wrestling fans, you know, who won't admit that they still watch wrestling. But as far as the wrestling scene, it's a real big with independents around here. Obviously, we got the ECW arena that a lot of shows still run out here. So, yeah, it's still a big thing.
Part of the Liberty Lottery coming up, Portsmouth Pavillion. So many great stars going to be involved in this, including Devantes, Chris Aquilla, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk, powered by Cova Sports TV, Ed.
Well, Devantes, we're great you came on. Give us some time getting ready for this big, which I would call VCW's WrestleMania, so to speak. This is the big thing for you guys.
Yes.
But let's playing off of what Matt asked you. I'm a Pennsylvania guy now. I'm more out west near Pittsburgh, a little town called Clearfield. You probably never heard of it. Near State College, Altoona. Most people, when you say Pennsylvania, it's either Pittsburgh or Philly.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all they really know. But what high school did you go to?
I went to Saul High School in Philadelphia. It's an agricultural school, dealt with like farm, you know, animals and plants and architect landscape and things like that.
Did you play any sports in high school?
Yeah, I played basketball. I played basketball a little bit. They didn't have a football team, so I played a little bit of baseball as well, but I really enjoy basketball.
He strikes me as that bruiser in the post, Ed, that you could have used back in your heyday when you was playing the high-low game you like to run.
Yeah. Devantes, I'm a longtime still-am basketball coach. I can use an inside player right now. We're hurting on size. Speaking of size, what do you bill yourself at now, height and weight-wise?
So height, I'm 5'8", but weight-wise, I'm 235.
And I know I've seen you wrestle, and you are what I would classify, you're not an aerialist, you're a power guy.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct?
I can do a little bit of both, but more so power, yep.
Yeah, that's what I figure. I mean, I don't see you doing the triple salt, swanton bombs off the top rope or the top of the cage like some of them the crazies do up there. I don't understand all that.
Not me.
Now, as you get ready, these last, sometimes we've interviewed many wrestlers on here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing one of the guys you know well, George Pontus, who is now the evil manager.
Mm-hmm.
We got to try to keep him in his place.
Yeah,
I'll ask you about him in a second. But what do you do in these coming weeks, right before this big matchup that you have in the Liberty Lottery?
You do a lot of cardio. A lot of cardio is a big difference between wrestling inside and wrestling outside. I could tell you that dealing with the elements is a little harder. Rex is a bigger guy. I'm used to being in the ring with guys a little smaller than me, but Rex is bigger. So cardio, just making sure you're keeping your endurance up.
Now, when you mention inside outside, for people who don't know, a lot of times everything's, under one roof, but you're going to be outside at the Portsmouth Pavillion. They're going to turn it into a second time ever, going to turn it into a wrestle stage. This is like I say, people, you need to get out and see this. If you've never seen wrestling, you know, we always hear WWE and AEW and all that. Me personally, I love the independents.
Yeah.
I think you guys work your butts off unbelievable. I see the work ethic because I sit up close. I don't take any seats in the back, even though all the seats there are tremendous.
Yeah, right.
And you don't have to pay $900 because I'm cheap. I'm not paying that kind of money. So
I understand.
I've got friends in low places that will take care of me. Hint, hint, George Pontus, I hope you're listening. If you still call me friend. But when you mentioned in Rex Lawless, a bigger guy now, people got to understand this ain't like high school and college where you wrestle for 3 minutes, a little break, wrestle for 3 minutes. You go until there's a winner.
Yes.
Rex Lawless, if I'm not mistaken, is about 6'6", 6'7", and about 300 pounds.
He's
so
a
you got
big
to move
dude.
him around.
Yep.
Now you have faced him before. How have you done against him in the past?
Disqualification, and then the triple threat last year at the Pavilion. He picked up the victory. He beat me in Boar. I got to give him his credit. But I mean, payback's been coming for over a year, so I'm ready.
Let me ask you about it real quick, Devantes. So what's different about you as the wrestler from the last meeting to now? We see it all the time in sports, the rematches, the payback. It can be a you-know-what. What's different in terms of you as a wrestler, the approach? What would you say is going to be different this time around?
I mean, it's a one-on-one this time. I mean, last time Boar was in the match, and so I had to worry about two guys, two extraordinary talents. It's just me and Rex, and I don't like Rex. So, it's just a little bit of a touch of hate in there.
But you got to have as a competitor, right? You can't be lovey-dovey. It's all about bragging rights and winning, and you got to have a little bit of hatred at the other guy you're fighting, right?
Yeah, you got to be a little nasty. I mean, you want to be the champion, you gotta do things that other people want.
There you go. Devantes, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk. Chris Aquilla is his real name, but he's going to be competing against Rex Lawless for the Virginia Heavyweight Championship with Virginia Championship Wrestling, Portsmouth Pavillion, July 25th. Ticketmaster, how you can get your tickets. Scan the QR code. Our guest here, 757 Sports Talk on Cova Sports TV. Coach Young.
And now also, Devantes, we hear in wrestling, as we kind of do some inside stuff here, the heel, who the crowd boos and hates and cheers. And then you've got the face. Everybody loves, we clap for him, and we want to see them win. And then you've got a lot of guys that kind of meander in the middle a little bit, back and forth. How would you describe your style?
I started out heel, but the fans wound up taking to me and wound up becoming a baby face, man. I got really cool with a lot of the fans, a lot of the people who come all the time. And, so I wound up becoming a face, but what do I prefer? I prefer to be a heel.
And it's tough in wrestling. And we've seen other guys who try to make fun of the crowd, mock people. By the way, when I'm at ringside, Matt will test to this. I get on the heels hard. I'm calling them names. I mean, I ain't cussing them, but I'm calling them names, making fun of wearing their wife's drawers as their wrestling gear, whatever. And when the heel guys try to get mad, but the crowd is still cheering for them, it's kind of tough to be in that character as to getting through your match. And I'm guessing you have faced that.
Absolutely. And then I think it's like my theme music is such upbeat, and it kind of gets the crowd into it, that when I was a heel, it was kind of working against me. So, but I love being a face at VCW. I love the crowd there, man. It's old school, man. We want to boo who we want to boo. We want to cheer who we want to cheer. And you don't get that all around. I've been around so many states, wrestled different places, and VCW gives me that old school territory feel that I love.
Let me ask you, Devantes, what would be something that you would tell the common sports fan or even wrestling fan, maybe they're more of a novice or not a diehard, why they should come out and check out your particular match or just the event in general? Because they're hearing about it, they're saying, all right, it sounds kind of interesting. What will be your sell point to it, if you will?
it's all on the line, man. I mean, that VCW title, that's what we all want, man. It's gonna be big men hitting each other really hard, trying to pick up this win, man. I mean, when you become that champion, it's a lot of perks that come with that, man. Radio station, TV appearance, on podcasts with guys like you, man. It's a lot that come with it, and I want all that. And I don't mind sounding selfish. I want all that.
So what's the best perk besides the belt?
Best perk besides the belt? You mean like having the championship?
Well, it can just be anything. What's the best perk? You said there's a bunch of perks coming on this podcast, which is awful kind of you to say. But what's the best perk? What's the best perk?
It's just, I mean, as far as like, I know they do like a lot of advertisement and like billboards and in the mall, and I've been lucky enough to where I forgot the mall down there. It's in Norfolk, where I'm holding that title and I'm walking through the mall and people are recognizing me, and like that stuff is cool, man.
You know, a billboard's not too bad, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would like to think too, maybe Devantes, in having that bout and winning in a big independent like VCW wrestling, could people like the WWE, AEW, NWA, CWF, these other associations, a little bit bigger, a lot of the TV stuff, could they look at you in a different light? And part two of the question, would you eventually like to maybe move up to those organizations?
Absolutely. I got goals that are definitely in mind, but I'm definitely one of those guys that appreciate the journey. I love the independent scene, like you talked about earlier. If it happens, it happens, but I'm just so appreciative to doing this, man. I've had a 9-to-5 job since I was 15 years old, and to do something that's outside the box that I actually got a passion for and love, I appreciate it. So whatever comes with it, it comes, but I'm not forcing anything or beating myself up for not being anywhere that I'm not. I'm where I'm supposed to be right now. So it's cool. It's all good.
Really cool stuff. Devantes here with us, 757 Sports Talk, Cova Sports TV, the Liberty Lottery coming up Portsmouth Pavillion July 25th, Ed.
And my question, a side question with that too, besides Virginia Championship Wrestling, are there any of the other independents that you have a working relationship with that you're allowed to go in there, or is that strictly under contract to VCW?
As far as wrestle for other promotions?
Yes.
Yeah, I can wrestle for other promotions. I wrestle almost every weekend. But VCW is my primary. So if I got another booking that wants to book me that week, I'm always going to choose VCW first.
Any crowds stick out of the places you've been to? Certainly, I imagine Hampton Roads, the 757, you'll get the Portsmouth Pavillion is going to be all, if not at the top of the list, among the top of the list, but any couple of places you can shout out or say, man, that place was either crazy great, or man, that place was somewhere I would never want to go again.
I've wrestled in all types of venues, some that are a little rowdy, might not be kid appropriate.
Right.
I love those too. But I would say VCW's at the top of the list. Definitely. It's another one, Power Pro Lucha. I wrestle in Philly because I came out of that school in Philly, so they know us, and it's rowdy, but I would take VCW number one.
There you go,
Devantes, I got to ask you, a lot of people look at wrestling, pro wrestling side-eye. It's scripted. It's some use a crazy word, and I'm not using it because I'm not getting beat up. Fake, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know, we've seen it up close, I've heard of it, I've had some people involved in pro wrestling. The injuries are not fake or scripted.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have nearly lost lives because of injuries, paralyzed because of injuries. Things do go wrong. How do you address those people that are side-eyed and, oh, yeah, here we go, one of these pro wrestling dudes? Because I'm sure with your look, your power looking at, and if you're walking through the mall with a belt, you're going to hear different things, or they're just going to ask you straight up. How do you answer that?
I mean, it's predetermined. I won't deny that, but I think the offense is when they use that F word because, one, the injuries aren't fake, the medical bills aren't fake, the PT isn't fake, So I think that's where the offense comes in. And the work that you have to put in to even get into the ring and have matches and the training. Like, people who say that could never last wrestling training. Wrestling training outside of boxing is one of the hardest things, and I did both of them. Is one of the hardest things to do to physically get yourself in shape. And a lot of these wrestling schools, they train you right. You will do cardio and calisthenics before you even touch that ring, and that's how I came up. So a lot of people who say things like that, I know they couldn't get through a week of wrestling training.
When I always tell this story, when I was in college, one of our college professors, Ken Cox, who was our wrestling coach at Lock Haven University, and when he was at Washington State, he had some guys come through his program that went on to become pros. And I can't give you names right now. Off the top of my head, it's been a while ago. And one time we had a professional wrestling show at our university, and part of our wrestling class, which is one of the classes we had to take, we had to come and help out and report on it. And that's kind of where I really fell in love with wrestling, even though it was before that with watching with my great uncle. But they had a ring set up, and me being a little smart ass, I thought, I'm going to do this. I saw guys go up and they run the ropes. I said, I'm going to go ahead and run the ropes and bounce off. I hit that first rope, shot off to the other side, went flying through, hit my head on the first, went right over the top, didn't realize how high it was, hit them chairs, and they said I was probably knocked out for about a minute.
Wow.
And you didn't ever see me get near a wrestling ring ever again. And you talk about the calisthenics and the work, I couldn't even run the ropes.
Man, it's a lot tougher than people think, man. You definitely gotta put the work in, man, and treat it serious, man, because people can get hurt, as you said earlier. So
yeah, nothing to play around with for sure. We'll get you on this. We thank you so much for coming on the program. Anything you want to shout out to your fans about the match coming up, or just in general, or even to your opponent here, the one that you're challenging? Anything you want to put out there?
Rex has been a thorn in my side for the past year, and I waited gracefully, patiently, waiting for my rematch. I'm finally getting it. I am coming to take my title, the same title he took from me in the same venue last year. I'm coming to get my title back by any means necessary.
That's right. He's going to go get it. He wants revenge. It's like when you watch those Rocky movies, Ed, and Rocky lost to Clubber Lang, and he got him back in the rematch. He's coming to get him.
You got that right.
You mentioned Clubber Lang, and I'm thinking Devantes. I'm trying to think. You can pass for a cousin of Clubber Lang. For sure.
Let me tell you something. I hear that every day. Every day.
I know it.
I committed to the look. So, like, my everyday life, I get it every day.
Next time we get you on, I'm going to show you my Mr. T in your pocket I got. And I'll have to give it. Maybe I'll bring it to you at the match day. You can use the Mr. T in your pocket.
Yeah, I want to see it.
That always puts me to shame with the thing, yeah.
And the last thing I have to say, I can see why people really are getting into you. It either has to be the hairstyle, which I wish I could get mine like that, and the beard, because the beard says it all. It's going every which way but loose. So it's got to be one of those two things why the people are into you. I offer my congrats to you early, because when you take that title, I'm hoping to be there ringside. I want to get one of those pictures with you.
Absolutely.
Let me hold the belt for like 10 seconds, so it'll help my real estate.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And you see over here, there's a belt, podcast belt I got over here. That's when I whooped this knucklehead in 13 seconds. So I got that belt easy.
Hey, that's all right. I got it right here. Here's the Mr. T in your pocket. There you go. I'll let you borrow Devantes coming up in a few weeks. Thank you so much for coming on again. The Liberty Lottery, Portsmouth Pavillion, July 25th. Tickets available on Ticketmaster. Scan that QR code. Part of a great card. Devantes taking on Rex Lawless. You see others that are going to be involved, like Mark Miro and Shotzi, and the list goes on and on. And you see Devantes up there as well as he goes for the belt. We appreciate you coming on the program. All the best to you later this month, and we'll talk to you down the road.
I'm having a problem hearing you guys. I can't hear you.
Oh, you don't have us? That's all right. Do you hear us now at all, Devantes? We'll see if we can calibrate him up here for a second, get him back on here. For some reason, he lost some of the audio. You got us, Devantes? You got us?
I can't hear you guys.
All right, he's lost some of the audio, but we appreciate you coming on the program. And for some reason, he's having trouble with the audio. But we're going to take a timeout, and more coming up here on 757 Sports Talk. You're watching on Cova Sports TV.
Welcome to the most honest commercial you'll ever see.
And as you can see, me and you are both having trouble starting to talk.
Yep.
I mean, this is something that you're breathing in every day.
Yeah, like 50% of the air in the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is coming from down here.
Yes, sir.
How's your crawl space looking? You say we're going to be here a while.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get busy.
Get a free and honest inspection with JES Foundation Repair, a groundwork.
Authentic Italian cuisine can be found in just one place in Hampton Roads, Il Giardino Ristorante in Virginia Beach. Il Giardino offers veal, seafood, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations. Add the sounds of the piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. Open daily at 5 p.m.
Joke time, ladies and gents. And we want to know today, what do you call an angry carrot? A steamed veggie. Yes, a steamed veggie.
Coach Young, you better watch out because I'm coming for you.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what's more scary. The dumb jokes. It made no sense. A steamed
veggie. You don't get it?
A steamed veggie.
Good morning to Bob Lanham. We love Sideline Bob tuning in. I bet Bob got the joke.
Bob, I hope you're not getting into this fool in the pool segments because
he loves it. I'm sure
the
he
jokes, they're not even jokes. And then you got this guy with a gun coming after me. What?
Wait, that's Brock. You don't know Brock? Brock,
There he is. Coach Young, you better watch out because I'm coming for you.
Coming for you. Better watch out. Look, Bob got it. Thank you, Bob. Ed's the only one. He's in the dark. You know,
I can see if a steamed vegetable, but not a steamed vegetable.
Well, we had the Drizzly Bear earlier. If you missed that, you could go back on the YouTube and scan through it. Now, see what? Bob, when the show's over, is going to go back and watch all the other poolside adventures we had today. In addition to, if you're just tuning in now like Bob is, perhaps you missed our conversations with Devantes, Chris Aquilla from Virginia Championship Wrestling. You missed LaDeja James, new girls basketball coach at Princess Anne High School, who's now succeeding the legendary Darnell Dozier. You missed Maury quarterback Domo Everette. And you missed Chris Clarey, who's live at Wimbledon as Moldova and Nuskova are underway. The all-Czech women's final. It's literally in the first game of the first set, so we can watch the rest of that. I got to jet off to do some field hockey, USA Field Hockey today at the Regional Training Center. But before we bid adieu, maybe Bob will like this too. You know, I got to thinking, your team won its first game against the Nats today. My team won its first game against the Dodgers. How about we put something on the line for this? If the D-backs take more games against the Dodgers than the Yankees take against the Nats, I get to have someone throw you in the pool. But if the Yankees take more games against the Nats than the D-backs take against the Dodgers, you can have someone throw me in the pool. How's that sound to you?
Well, first of all, you're already in the pool. So that's not a good bet. You're already in the pool.
Why do you say such a thing?
Because you're in the pool. Why are we?
I'm not in the pool. I'm sitting here in my studio with the sun glaring in, which is why my face has got so much sun on it right now.
They both play today and tomorrow. Then it's All-Star break time.
Do you need the pitching matchups to make this happen here? You probably do.
Ohtani's not pitching. He played last night, but he's not pitching.
That's right, which we're cool with.
That's going to help you a lot.
That's some good OJ.
Oh, good OJ, man. Wipe yourself off. It's
good water. Stuff. Good water. Nobody wants to watch you drink OJ.
We got to get a sponsorship, OJ sponsorship, so I can drink more orange juice on the show.
Well, the Yankees today have Schlittler on the mound against Poulin, who's 3-0 with a 2.83 ERA. As for my D-backs tonight, it's Brandon Pfaadt against Yamamoto. And tomorrow, it's Zach Gallen, who's terrible on the road, against Bodie Sheehan, who's 4-6. I'm sorry, not Bodie Sheehan, Emmett Sheehan for the Dodgers. While your Bronx Bombers have Will Warren against TBA. We should definitely put this pool thing on the line here. That's my opinion.
I think the Dodgers take these two.
Oh, wow.
It'll be 2-1 Dodgers, and I think the Yanks get the Nats either today or tomorrow, make it 2-1 Yankees.
Ohtani is hurt, Bob, but he is playing still. So you explain that. I think he's not faking it, to be honest with you. He wants to get the All-Star game off is what he's doing. I think he's faking. I'm sorry, I said it. Yeah, I said it out loud.
I thought I heard he will not perform the All-Star game. He's getting his knee checked.
Hey, Ohtani, if you've been watching the ticker this morning, which is now scrolling it, will have his left knee drained tomorrow to relieve continued irritation, and that's that. So, and I think he should have a drain and stop being continued irritating me and my team, hitting home runs to start off games. But that's going to do it for this episode of 757 Sports Talk. We thank all of you for tuning in. Thank you, Bob. He agrees with me. That's right. He's a smart guy. For Bob and all of you interactors and Woody and all the people out there and the Coach Ed Young, I'm Matthew Hatfield saying, so long, farewell, until we meet again. And oh, by the way, we leave you with Ed's favorite thing. Poolside. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Alrighty, we're back with joke time. What do you call a crab that never shares its toys? Shellfish. And as you can see, the crab shack has been boarded up.